Hey Survivor, welcome to episode 162 of the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Today we're talking about something that feels counterintuitive, especially when you've just taken your power back. After narcissistic abuse, there's oftentimes this strong urge to go off, read them like a Dick and Jane book, break down how and when you figured them out, declare your freedom from the rooftops, and make sure that they know that you are done. Right? But here's the truth. Healing does not require an audience, and your freedom does not require an announcement. When it comes to making power moves after narcissistic abuse, silence is golden. But first, let's self-regulate with a 4-8 breathing exercise, if you'd like. And I invite you to get comfortable and settle in to your seat wherever you are. Plant your feet on the ground if that's available to you. Even go barefoot if you can. And just roll your shoulders back a little bit. Shake off the day. And we'll inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 8. Ready? Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What do you notice in your body? Grab your notebook and pen, and let's dig in. Hey Survivor, welcome to the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Do you want to disconnect from a narcissistic or toxic situation and heal? Are you Googling how to identify a narcissist, narcissistic abuse, and boundaries? Are you feeling stressed and lonely while trying to avoid being sucked back in and lied to again? Hey, I'm Lesley. As a busy wife and mom, I fell for the lies and manipulations of narcissists. I wasted my time, talents, and money on users who kept moving the goalposts. I wanted real relationships and business opportunities and to enjoy life with my family. Instead, I struggled with anxiety, panic attacks, and insomnia, and I couldn't trust my body or anybody until I took a holistic approach to healing. In this podcast, you'll find tips for healthy living, trauma healing, and boundaries so that you'll have the freedom, confidence, and inner peace to respond, not react, after narcissistic abuse. Take a deep breath in, let it out slowly, and just relax. This time's for you. I remember when my friends and I realized that we were being conned and scammed by a female narcissist. And this had gone on for a year and a half or so. Eventually, we figured it out. We compared notes on our experiences and decided collectively to go no contact. And I'm the type of person that hates unsolved mysteries and cliffhangers and things like that. I gotta know. I was tempted to ask questions, confront her, but I knew enough even back then to not go there because that's exactly what she wanted. And I told my friends as much, like, don't give her any attention. That's what she wants. And she wants us to call, wants us to reach out, and that's going to suck us right back in. Even as a fledgling survivor, I knew enough to disconnect and to stay that way. And initially, in the aftermath, we were harassed, smeared, stalked, threatened, all the things. Eventually, she self-destructed, went dark, reinvented herself, found some new targets, and so on. Now, this process goes a lot faster when you cut the narcissist off and make quiet power moves. Moving in silence is not easy, but it's a pathway to peace after narcissistic abuse. So why is moving in silence so hard? Because it is hard. I know one of my friends was like so tempted. I had to like virtually restrain her. I was like, do not do that. Don't go off. she had a hard time holding back the hood in her in this situation. And we talked about that. And there's a lot of temptations when you talk about moving in silence. You want the narcissist to see that you're strong. You want acknowledgement for maybe what you've done for them, or even acknowledgement for the fact that you figured them out and got away. You want justice. You want validation, or even closure. You want to send a message about your growth or your level up. And that totally makes sense. Just having those urges, it's a trauma response, really, as opposed to just a character flaw. But here's the deal. The narcissist is not going to hear or see your growth as growth. They're going to hear it as information and see it as an opportunity. And information and opportunities are fuel. Yeah. So here are 3 truths about moving on and moving in silence. 1 is that you are responsible for taking care of your own property. Your behavior, emotions, thinking, this is all part of you. Your energy is your property, your plans, your healing. This is all part of your property. And I'm kind of taking this from Townsend and Cloud's Boundaries book, where they talk about boundaries and describe setting boundaries as like really honoring the property lines around a property. And if you look at your life in that way and yourself in that way, it can really help you to better navigate after narcissistic abuse. If you see, all these things that are part of you, your life, your existence, your future as your property, that is all you're responsible for. So things like oversharing, spilling the tea, leaking information, gives access to someone who has already abused it. After all, silence isn't secrecy, it's a form of stewardship. Number 2, narcissists don't know how to move without reactions. This is so important because narcissists regulate themselves through your reactions. And attention, whether it's positive or negative, keeps them going and gives them like a compass and shows them what to do next, where to go next. And when there's no reaction, no data, no access, they destabilize. When you give them nothing, they essentially lose the script. Like they literally don't know what to do. When there's no updates, no explanations, no emotions, a nothing burger, crickets, they don't know what to do with that. And neither one is satisfying. Number 3, silence reduces re-engagement and re-traumatization. So every interaction that you have with the narcissist reactivates your nervous system. It's triggering. It's re-traumatizing, which is unhealthy for you. And every explanation that you give invites more manipulation. Every revelation that you make creates a new hook or provides a new in. Moving in silence protects your well-being. You don't heal by re-entering the ring after a boxing match. And you've been in a battle, essentially. And it's a power struggle between you and the narcissist. And most of the time you don't even know that you're in it. You don't even know you're playing. You don't even know you're participating. But that cycle keeps going with every revelation, interaction, information leak. So, you can start to see opportunities that you have in your situation to really cut that off and disconnect from that cycle. Stop the cycle by disconnecting from the dysfunctional behavior. Let's talk about why specifically the oversharing backfires. The narcissist doesn't care about you or about your life or your emotions or your circumstances, your situation. They don't self-reflect and they don't feel remorse. What they do feel is stimulation, a sense of superiority, and control. And anything that you share can and will be used against you. It can be mocked, it can be minimized, it can be weaponized, used to provoke you later. Your pain is entertainment, in a sense, to someone who lacks empathy. And this is why silence is golden. So, what do you do instead? Here are 3 things to encourage you and that you can put into practice. One is to share privately with safe people. It could be a therapist, an accountability partner, a trusted friend or family member, or even a spiritual advisor. When you are working on your healing, you need people who are really in your corner and actively engaged and committed to your well-being. So you want to choose people who are going to protect confidentiality, they're not going to triangulate or relay information to others. So something to consider, especially if you're dealing with someone in a closer relationship, like say a family member or a friend, that's maybe part of a bigger group of friends. Second is to lean into healing. Like we talk about Dr. Sears's pillars of wellness, lifestyle, exercise, attitude, and nutrition. Let's talk about lifestyle. Design a lifestyle that prioritizes your peace over proving yourself. Like your life shouldn't have to be loud to be meaningful. Exercise. Movement, even if it's 20 minutes a day. Something as simple as a power walk, a dog walk. Whatever you're going to be able to do consistently can help with processing things like anger, grief, adrenaline. Let your body get through the stress cycle without the contact and that constant aggravation of re-engaging with the narcissist. You'll feel so much better. Attitude. Shift your mindset, if you can, from I'll show them to I'll self-regulate. Just even that mindset change is powerful. And it puts you in the driver's seat. Nutrition. Consistent nourishment with real foods is going to support emotional restraint in a situation like this. When you're dysregulated, it leads to a lot of impulsive sharing, oversharing, over-explaining, and perpetuates that toxic cycle of abuse, whereas regulation puts you back in the space of voice and choice. So a regulated body and brain is going to lead to quieter, wiser, calmer decision making. And third, stop seeking validation through reactions. This could include things like posting to provoke, or explaining or over-explaining in order to be understood or heard. Maybe even retaliating. It's tempting. Like I said, my friend and I were really struggling with going off after we figured out that we were being conned and manipulated for a long time. Things like retaliating to feel strong or to get the upper hand is so tempting, but it's a reaction that's not going to help the situation. It's not going to help you. And announcing things in order to feel seen. Because the reality is, validation from someone who hurt you will never heal you. So silence or moving in silence isn't a sign of weakness. It's in essence a sign of self-respect. So when you move in silence, there are a lot of things that happen as a result. And behavioral psychology tells us that when attention is removed from a situation like this, the unhealthy behavior will often escalate initially before it eventually collapses. And that's part of the power of silence. And I've seen that happen. And that's what my friends and I saw with the narcissist that we were dealing with. There was this short-term escalation, but then there was this collapse. And what ends up happening is the narcissist will spiral. They don't know what to do. They don't know what's going on. They can't control the situation. It's almost like swinging a bat, like in the dark. They can't see the targets. They're going to swing and miss, and they don't know where to swing. It's just chaotic and messy, and they escalate. They also expose themselves in the process. They make a lot of mistakes, right? Like making threats. We got threatening voicemails. I mean, come on. They get sloppy. They lose that leverage. They don't know what's going on. And then meanwhile, we're all comparing notes and really solidifying and validating one another, confirming, the patterns of behavior, the situations, the incidents, our lived experience. And, the narcissist is completely clueless as to what's going on and just swinging in the dark. So in essence, this all happens because you stopped feeding the beast. That is the system that kept them functioning, kept them going. And for you, you created this space for healing, for growth, and moving forward without extra baggage or a whole bunch of back and forth that's going to drain your time, energy, attention, and other resources. Remember, silence protects your peace and starves their need. Thanks for tuning in, Survivor. Your peace is priceless. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. The fear is real when it comes to processing your experience. I know you feel stressed and exhausted with a pit in your stomach at the thought of being sucked back in and lied to again. You feel like a horrible person for going no or low contact, like maybe I'm the narcissist. The fear, self-blaming, and shaming is something we all go through as survivors. I want you to understand that you're not alone and you're not crazy. Every person who's ever been in a narcissistic relationship has felt what you're feeling right now. If this resonates with you and you're like, I'm done with fear, I'm done playing small, I know who I am, and I am not the narcissist, I want you to say yes. Today's the day. I want you to go right now to closurecoachingsession.com, and I want you to book your call because we're going to do this together. I'm going to hold your hand and we're going to overcome this fear so that you can begin a long-lasting journey of healing. Let's do this. If this podcast has helped you understand who and what you're dealing with, sharpen your discernment, and move forward on your healing journey, share it with another survivor. Help me help others by leaving a review for the show. And let's connect on social. Take a screenshot, share it in your IG stories, find and tag me at The Vibrant Survivor, and I'll share your post too. I look forward to connecting with you on IG and seeing you back here. You're not alone and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care, and I'll meet you back here next week. Bye-bye.